What's up? This is Tom Froming from TwinsDaily.com. Today, the Twins beat the Tigers 8-3. Brusdar Graterol made his Major League debut. Let me show you every pitch of his outing, and then we'll jump back and do our regular thing on this episode.
$100 and strike one. 99 at the knees, almost without effort. Wow, 98.
I mean, he could throw that ball just like that.
Well, at 98, you're probably not going to hit it if you try to swing at that pitch. And by the way, I don't believe it.
Well, actually,
1-1 on the outside. 7 pitches, 5 strikes. His release point. This one hit to center, and Buxton will stay powered by AWS. In the dirt, it'll be a wild pitch. Advance. High chopper over the mound. Safe at first. Graterol probably telling him, look, the line drive to center was softly hit, and the second hit was chopped right into the ground. Could be 2. To the bag, and a double play. And Graterol finishes off an 8-3 win.
nice play by Polanco right there, utilizing his speed, and then a quick throw.
So there it was, Brusdar Graterol in the flesh on a Major League mound, pumping heat. We'll get back to him in a second, but let's start at the top. Michael Pineda started today. Big Mike, we might as well just start calling him Big Easy, because it just, every time out, it's not like he dominates, but he really does just make pitching seem so simple and so easy. He's just pounding the strike zone, and, starting guys off with strikes is a huge thing for him. He also gets swinging strikes, too, so it's not like he's just a completely, strike-throwing pitch-to-contact guy or something. And you got 9 strikeouts in 6 innings. But one of the things I'm starting to pay attention to a lot more this season is home runs. And I always kind of paid attention to walks a lot, but I think that's important too. Pineda walked 1 guy, gave up 0 home runs. If you do that in your starts, things are typically going to go very well for you these days with the ball flying out. So great to see him keep it going. I talked about it yesterday. He's kind of become the stopper in a sense. It's not like the Twins were on a losing streak, but they had a few poor starts in a row. They just really could have used a quality start. He goes out and gets the job done. Now, the first guy out of the bullpen, Sam Dyson, he allowed a home run today. He's actually allowed as many home runs with the Twins as he did with the Giants. And he's pitched like 10 1/3 innings with the Twins, and he pitched 51 innings for the Giants. So if the Twins winning today opened up a 5.5 game lead, there's this entire month to get things lined up. If those 2 things weren't the case, I'd be a lot more nervous about this. The Twins do need Sam Dyson to be Sam Dyson, I think. Even with Graterol and some other guys coming up and looking impressive and maybe providing some hope to the bullpen, he's just a very important pitcher, and he's also under contract, or if they want to, for next season. So I'm not freaking out yet, but to see that these home runs flying out with him on the mound, he only threw 50% of his pitches for strikes today. It's a concern. It's something to keep an eye on going forward. Thankfully, there's both time and some wiggle room to get this guy pointed straight. I'll say this, he shouldn't be working in high leverage situations right now. They should work him to get some momentum before he's put back into that situation. This wasn't a high leverage situation. The Twins built a nice early lead. Sergio Romo came in after that, pitched an inning, very Sergio Romo-like. Not a whole lot to add on to that. And then Graterol came in for his Major League debut, as you just saw. Pretty cool to see triple digits on at least the FSN radar. They were rounding up on a few of those. We can jump over to his StatCast data here. And as you can see, this has since been updated now. But 14 pitches, 11 four-seam fastballs, and I call that a two-seamer. His fastball has so much arm side break. I guess I'm not surprised it's being called a two-seamer. But then 3 sliders. Let me get myself out of the way here. But as you can see, topped out at 99.6, averaged 99 with the fastball, 88.8 with the slider, so that's hard as well. Those pitches moving in opposite directions. Let me see. Give me 1 sec. I'll pull up the 3D visualizer here. All right. So I don't know if you can see this real well. Might be kind of hard to convey, but you can see the orange are his two-seamers, and that's breaking back toward the left here, and then the gold is his slider, which is breaking the other direction. So both those pitches are hard, and obviously they, as we can see here, they're breaking the opposite direction. So just those 2 pitches are going to give batters a lot of trouble. I'm not sure what we're going to see out of him arsenal-wise out of the bullpen. Maybe he'll just stick to those 2 pitches. We'll see. It's important to keep in mind, too, that this is a guy who missed 2 months, and in some ways is still working his way back from had that long layoff and an injury that caused it. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they use him going forward, how he uses his pitches, and just where this goes. It's just fun to see where they're going here, and this will be an eye-opening thing if you're used to looking at the bullpen reports that we have at Twins Daily. Look at how big this thing is. I'm actually gonna have to zoom out a bit. So the Twins roster is expanded, and they added a whole bunch of guys. Graterol's the only guy who's going to be making his major league debut. That's out of the way now. All these other guys so far are guys we've seen cycle through. One surprise to me was that Trevor Hildenberger, Ryan Harper, and Fernando Romero were not added. And it's entirely possible. Actually, I'd say it's probably likely they'll get added to the Twins active roster once the AAA season is over. But seeing as those 3 guys have some of the most experience, it's kind of surprising to see them come up, instead of a Thorpe or a Littell or a Smeltzer, Stewart. Obviously you would want 1 or 2 guys that can give you some length, but I was just kind of surprised. Especially Hildenberger's been pitching very well of late. But there's a look at the gigantic bullpen report now. As you can see, nobody threw many pitches. Dyson 20, Graterol 14, Romo 11. Included in this as well as any AAA outings. So you can see, Graterol's outing and AAA, Smeltzer, they're all on there. So gives you the full picture of what we're looking at here. Coming into tomorrow, it's a little weird. It's a Monday game, but obviously with the holiday, it's going to be in the afternoon. So they played an afternoon game today, playing an afternoon game tomorrow. I would expect pretty much all hands on deck. Maybe Cody Stashak, they might want to give him an extra day off since that's so easy to do with this gigantic bullpen. But, usage from here on out is really only going to be a concern in terms of like Taylor Rogers. He's been, the big picture of trying to conserve arms in general and making guys stretch out their outings really isn't going to be a concern because there's so many guys. So when we look at these going forward from here on through September, it's more keying in on individual key pieces of guys who you'd want pitching in high leverage situations. So Taylor Rogers has not pitched. He did warm up very briefly in the 9th inning today when Graterol let a couple guys on, but he'll be fine to go tomorrow.